Many children don't know how to communicate, don't know how to make eye contact, don't know how to use reciprocity or empathy.
They don't know how to rough and tumble anymore. So then when they rough and tumble, it's just way too hard. They kick and hit, but they don't mean any harm. They just don't know any better. Like they're just learning that from whatever they're watching. And so when they come and try and do it in real life, it's not the same as a video game or a video.
Can I see? Of course.
The kids are distracted. Their ability to focus for longer periods of time is not what it used to be.
I have seen a profound increase in the anxiety in children. You usually had one student, maybe two in your grade level that had really strong emotional or traumatic experiences that made them behaviorally very difficult. And now you have 1 to 3 per classroom on average.
Kids are different now. All of the social media and the technology that the kids are dealing with now are adding to a lot of the social emotional issues that kids are experiencing. And I think COVID just exacerbated that. The kids come into the classroom now having a hard time managing extended periods of instruction.
These kids were in preschool during COVID. So they were 2, 3 years old during COVID. They had no peer interaction, none. And it really started to show when they started to come into school that they did not have that problem-solving interaction, learning how to talk to somebody, learning how to share, learning how to be kind, learning what it meant to have somebody be unkind to you and how to deal with that. And when we skipped over all that and then 3 years later we put them in school, it was a disaster.
After the pandemic, because children were home and they were not able to connect and be able to communicate because so many were just in the homes, on devices, or just not communicating like they do in the schools, we felt like there was a need to start.
We're just going to draw how you feel in that first one, okay? All right. So now we're going to move to box number 2. So go ahead and put crayons down, pencils down. We're going to close our eyes and we're going to listen.
I did the hardest one, and I'm going to win it.
Yes, you did. Yep. Yep. Yeah. We have to do it. You don't forget
There's a lot of talk these days about SEL, social emotional learning. But what exactly is it? Social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills. And it's just as important as learning reading or math.
Social emotional learning has been around for a lot longer than some think. 1994, Castle developed the social emotional learning standards, and then different states adopted it back in, I want to say 1998. And then in 2016, many were starting to utilize it more. However, after the pandemic in 2020, we saw the need that many children were not able to self-regulate, weren't able to emotionally be in charge of their own emotions or feelings when they're at school. So these are not skills that can be taught in a book. They cannot be taught in just one lesson. They are lifelong, and they have to be taught in the moment.
You're not going to draw or write anything yet, okay? You're just going to listen, and we're going to listen with our eyes closed. So when you start, we'll close our eyes and we're going to listen, and then we're going to draw how that music made us feel, okay?
The idea of social emotional learning has always been in the curriculum in some way in every school that I've worked in every year. The whole overall idea was teaching children problem-solving skills, interaction skills, being aware of feelings, how to deal with those things, and interacting with each other in a positive way.
In box number 1, I want you to write or draw. It could be a doodle, a scribble, whatever color that you feel, the color that you feel, and I want you to draw that. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to draw that in box number 1. I love your color usage.
know when I was growing up, the common motto was, go figure it out. I wasn't equipped with the language to understand what that meant. I just knew I knew what the end goal was, but I didn't know the steps to get there. And so establishing really good language for students to learn how to talk about anything, whether it's in problem solving or their emotions when they're having an emotional situation, it's helping them to navigate through something that unless we help them get tools to do that, they can't really work through those.
Or, what's a tool? What is a tool we can use to change our feelings or emotions, Jack? Music is always a great tool, okay? It is always a great tool. Does Miss McHenry sometimes use music in the classroom to change the mood?
Yeah.
I do. I use it all the time. I think music is a great tool to help us change our mood, change our feelings. What did you think you got from this? I want you to turn to your group and share what you learned from doing this activity. What did you learn?
The most important thing is that the child learns how to talk to the other child and the other child to them. Some kids might be an only child at home. How else are they going to learn it if we're not helping them practice it at school with peers?
All right, once you've been checked off, come on down to breakfast. Breakfast should be about done.
Well, we've always done social emotional learning, so it's just sort of been named something different. So it just sort of gets put under a different umbrella. So character education, whole child, social emotional is what they call it now. It's all very similar. It's dealing with the children's, mental state, how they're doing emotionally. I don't think they should need to rely on the teachers to do that. As a math, science, and social studies teacher, which is what I am, my priority is for those kids to pass those SOL tests. And the time that we have to teach those subjects is tight. I think the parents should be the one that are the main player in addressing and correcting or helping and supporting their kids' social and emotional needs. I'm not trained. I mean, I can help kids with their social emotional health. I've been doing it long enough. I know when a kid comes into my classroom that they're having a bad morning. I can tell by the tone of their voice. I just don't feel like there's enough time in the curriculum to address a lot of the social emotional stuff as an educator.
I have many teachers who say, I don't have time to do this. I have a curriculum to follow. I have the Virginia standards and I have to teach that test. And at the end of the day, those scores reflect me. I don't have time to do all this.
Yes, they might take a 10-minute block in the morning to do a classroom meeting, but that's going to save you 20 minutes down the road with somebody needing to share something that they want to get off their chest, maybe with somebody else in class or whatever. I think it's just so important because they don't get it anywhere else sometimes.
You have to learn it through a curriculum and learn how to apply it and then be able to take it out into the real life situations. And if you think about it, no matter what job you are going to have in life, you are going to have to work and integrate with other people. And if you don't start practicing that in a positive way at a very young age, it's going to be much harder to do that when you get to being an adult. If you don't have interpersonal skills to be able to get along with people and tolerate people that maybe you don't like, you're always going to get put with people that you don't get along with. But you have to learn tolerance, kindness, and how to get along with those people.
I know a lot of parents enjoyed that because they would come to us and say, you know what, that was a great conversation. That allowed our families to talk. That allowed the kids to express or use their imagination. But then it also would, prompt them to be problem solvers and think about things. And then also talking with others allowed that communication skills to be building. Because if you don't teach those students how to talk with each other, if you don't teach those students how to look at paperwork, if you don't teach the students that they need to take their time or have compassion when helping others, they're going to struggle. If we don't start looking at humans and learning from humans and being more proactive in understanding the human race and understanding each other, then humans will fail. Because without a human, there's not much more we can do.
What time? Okay.